Battery's still low. Hello, welcome to the James Cooley Show. It's your life. I'm your host, Dr. James J.C. Cooley. And wow, we got an absolutely fantastic show. We got, of course, Thursday is Paula Shaw, Bridges Beyond Grief. We're going to be talking about that. But we got a very good friend of both of ours that's going to be here with us today. And I am so excited to have her. I'm not going to give it away yet, Michelle, but we got her coming on. So how you doing today, Michelle?
I'm doing great. Hey, Paula.
Hello, darling. Good to see you again.
Good to
And
see
you don't got my main man, Todd, here. Todd, how are you doing today, man? It's almost time for us to get this show
I'm going to lock
there.
it in here. In 3, 2, 1, here we go.
It's Your Life is sponsored by James J.C. Cooley.
Dr. James J.C. Cooley. The James Cooley Show.
Hello. Welcome to the James Cooley Show. It's your life. I'm your host, Dr. James J.C. Cooley. And you got my co-host, I'm her co-host today, Paula Shaw, the beautiful, fabulous Paula Shaw. And I haven't seen you in a while.
I know.
And it just
not in the flesh, on the screens.
Oh
yes,
yeah, so it's absolutely fantastic being in the room with you again, and we got so much to talk about today. We got just absolutely fantastic guests, and Dr. Cooley, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, James. Excited about this returning guest. She is so lovely and she is so talented, and she's got a journey to talk about today, and we're looking forward to hearing about it.
I love her music. She got to give me permissions to play her music. Everybody keep asking me about that, but I'm going to talk to her about that one later.
Oh, let's put her on the spot now while she's on the air.
We're going to put her on the spot, but Michelle, can you do the honors of introducing the title of the show, the purpose of the show, and introduce this absolutely fantastic guest?
Yes. The title of today's show is Bridges Beyond Grief, From Tears to Laughter. And we're having a sit-down conversation. Paula Shaw, our guest host. We're having a conversation with Amy Scruggs. She's a media executive, TV host, recording artist, public speaker, corporate spokesperson, sales professional. We're going to talk about the heartbreak of diagnosis and decline, finding proper care for your loved one. How do you keep your declined loved one engaged and interested in life? Day-to-day challenges, and dealing with your own grief and emotional pain. So Amy Scruggs, she is a country music artist. She has always brought passion and heart to both her performances and her community work. In 2024, Amy became the full-time caregiver for her father, who was diagnosed with Alzheimer's. Embracing this new chapter with compassion and resilience, she documents their daily journey together through heartfelt blogs on social media. by openly sharing both the joys and struggles of caregiving. And she aims to inspire and educate others facing similar challenges. So please welcome back to the show, Amy Scruggs.
Yay.
It's so nice to be here. Like, you don't even know. This is such an incredible breath of fresh air to be with just such dear friends like this. But to have this discussion today, I'm really looking forward to it. Thank you for this honor.
Well, Amy, I'm just in awe of what you've done. And James, unless you wanted to jump in, I'd like to share with the audience a little bit about what I know of her journey and have her tell us what it's like from her perspective.
First of all, if you haven't been watching us on Thursday with the fantastic, fabulous Paula Shaw, Paula, can you tell them a little bit about you before we really bring this in? So give them a touch, and then we're gonna bring this big famous celebrity in and chat with us.
All right, let's do that. Well, my work.
I think we kind of lost Paul and James here, some technical difficulties, audience, but I can kind of talk about Paula Shaw, what we know about her amazing, amazing work. First of all, Paula is a life transitions coach and a grief specialist. She's also a best-selling author, keynote speaker, and media host on her show, Change Up Radio with Paula Shaw. For more than 25 years, she has been dedicated to helping people navigate the stress of change and challenge using mind-body tools and techniques. You know, she has degrees in education and communications, and she's the author of several books, including Chakras, The Magnificent Seven, Grief, When Will This Pain Ever End? And her latest book, Saying the Right Thing When You Don't Know What to Say. So until they come back, I am going to start off with the amazing Amy Scruggs.
You're perfect, Michelle. Well, they'll be back. They'll be back. It's okay. That's what teamwork does, right?
So, Amy, besides what was summarized in the bio that I stated, can you tell the audience, give us an adjective about who you are today and why does that adjective fit you so well?
Oh, it's resilient. More than I even realized. Definitely resilient. I found out so much about myself by making such quick shifts and diving into such needed family support and what that looked like, and understanding the disease that I wasn't fully aware of all of the components of it, and still growing and learning and expanding it, but becoming resilient to navigate so many things at one time on top of the full life I had before. I think that's been the word that's been really resonating in my head.
Can you share with the audience about the journey and everything that started with your father, the things you want to share, and how did it affect you initially when you heard this?
Yes. You know, it's interesting. I'll go back further because I think there's a lot of education that can take place in this, where with loved ones, we may just think, oh, they're just old, or something's slightly off, or they're just more frail. And we started noticing 10 years ago that Dad was having those subtle changes in his memory and some of his ability, or a little more accident prone than normal. And so we were kind of wondering, but just like, well, it's Dad. We'll just walk with him through that. And then about 4 years ago, we really started to notice that things were shifting, especially when he got lost a few times. We realized that he probably wasn't safe driving anymore. We started to notice those things. And that's when he had the Dementia Diagnosis. And so that was that start of it. But we were really unaware of the complexities or what that was going to mean upcoming. We just kind of kept a closer eye. And he lived independently with my mother. And so they were still navigating, doing life with just some subtle changes. And Mom even took him out on a trip. They did some traveling a couple years ago, and she noticed then, wow, that was getting more difficult. And so as a family, we were saying, okay, well, you know, he was in his early 80s at that point, and he is getting older. And so we're summing some of that up to the old age. And I, looking back, wish I had started just completely absorbing what the brain is doing with dementia, you know, and what changes are going to be taking place so we could be more proactive then. And by last year, when I would come and visit, I noticed, okay, there is a change, definitely in how he was able to even communicate. He still recognized everybody at that point. So a lot of the family wasn't fully thinking, okay, well, he's just slow. It's just grandpa, right? Mm-hmm. And by the holidays of last year, when I was coming to visit more, because I lived 2 hours away, I went, okay, wow, wait a minute. We've got some safety issues. My mom had taken a fall and broke her arm. And I think that was a tipping point, because now she wasn't able to care for him the way that she was. And that revealed a lot of where mom was definitely doing a great job keeping him safe and healthy that we weren't noticing, because now he's kind of left to his own. And he took the air out of the tires. He was just kind of one step from an accident all the time. Mm-hmm. And it was time to say that this isn't safe. She needed care and he needed care. And so I describe it as walking into that burning building where you just say, okay, this house, this is on fire. Nobody is safe. And we're going to go in and we're going to assess. And so triaging, I think, explains really those first few months of saying, what is this? How do I get empowered and educated? And that's where we started off in January, was with that identification that this disease has now progressed. Now what?
Were you in shock or in some sense of denial when you heard about the diagnosis with your father?
No, I think because it was so slow, as I described over those years, that it was like, okay, this is kind of coming. But I wasn't educated as to the depths of it. So I wasn't shocked. I was saddened. And I knew we were going to face, dad with dementia and what that would entail, but I had no idea that it was going to entail the depths of what we do today. And I think that's a big part of what, we can discuss today in this time, that there was so much more awareness and so much more education that was needed to even understand the burning building I was running into in January.
Wow. I tell you, we kind of had a little problem here at the studio on my computer, but we're going to take a station break. But when we're going to come back, Paula was on a roll. And I don't even think you all had an opportunity to hear her, but she was telling her story, telling your story, Amy. So we're going to take a station break, and whichever platform that you're watching us on, was E36 Television, Transfer TV, YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter, or 68 Live platforms. If you want to be part of the conversation, all you have to do is just go to the a platform that you're watching us on, the comments, asking the question, or you can pick up the phone and call us in studio at 1-888-344-1170. Again, that's 1-888-344-1170. It's your life, and we'll see you shortly after the break.
There's more stories of greatness to help you overcome adversity coming up on It's Your Life with James Cooley.
A Black Man's Point of View is the newest Amazon.com #1 release and bestseller book from author Dr. James J.C. Cooley, featuring the perspective from 11 other contributing authors. In A Black Man's Point of View, Dr. James Cooley unpacks his thoughts and personal experiences about the challenges, stereotypes, and feelings of self-worth that many Black men face today due to a 400-year ancestry rooted in slavery and colonization. Yet, how so many Black men move forward despite this history. Most importantly, A Black Man's Point of View conveys that all men, regardless of race, creed, or color, are capable of love, respect, and dignity. Described as a map to a greater life from the heart of a man who's experienced life's misfortune and harsh conditions, James shows us how beliefs, convictions, and a healthy mentality can help propel a life worth living. A must-read for all. Order your copy of A Black Man's Point of View by author Dr. James J.C. Cooley today from Amazon.com or wherever books are sold.
The J.C. Cooley Foundation. Dr. James J.C. Cooley. That's right. Check it out. It's Dr. James J.C. Cooley. Let's go. The James Cooley Show. It's your life.
Really get a chance to know who you are. And once you know who you are, you truly know who you are, love who you are. Love who you are. You're a masterpiece. Love who you are. Love who you were born to be. Love me some me. That's what I'm talking about. When you leave,
high school, you gotta know today or tomorrow, or hopefully today, what your plans are. Hopefully, there is no bad decision unless there is no plan. Create, collaborate, commit with confidence. Commit with what? Commit with what? In everything that you do.
The James Cooley Show. It's your life. That's right. All right. Let's go. It's the James.
Welcome back to the James Cooley Show. It's your life. I tell you, Paul and I in studio just laughing, having fun. And we got this absolutely fantastic guest, good friend of ours, Amy Scruggs. And as I was saying, Paula was on the road, and we had lost power on my computer. So Paula, you have to do all that over again. So I tell you what, whichever platform that you're watching us on, if you want to be part of the conversation, all you have to do is go to the comments, ask any question that you might have, or pick up the phone and dial 1-888-344-1170. Paula, it's back to you.
Well, first I'd like to say we have had some challenges here at the studio today, but we are rolling with the punches, and we are making the lemonade out of the lemons, which I think is a big piece of what Amy figured out to do. And I know, darling, you were saying some amazing things while I was talking, not realizing that nobody in the world was hearing me. So I'm going to do a quick recap of what I was saying, because James asked me to tell you a little bit about my work and how I come to know Amy. And I am a life transition therapist. I am a grief expert. I work primarily with people who are dealing with change. And we humans, we are comfort-loving people. And change turns everything upside down. We don't get to do it the way we did it anymore. And we often have a hard time coping with that. And so that's the bulk of my work, working with people who are dealing with grief. And as I often remind people, grief has many faces. One of the things we're trying to do in this series is bring you a lot of different people who have experienced different sources of their grief. Because most people think of grief and death. And there's so many other kinds of losses. Amy today is going to be talking about a loss that's getting bigger and bigger all the time because our senior population is booming. Oh, yes. No pun intended. The boomers are booming. Oh, well, had to be there. Anyway, Amy has this issue of dealing with a father with dementia, Alzheimer's in particular. Last week, we talked with Azim Kamisa, whose son was killed. We're going to be bringing people onto the show dealing with autism, dealing with health losses, because all of these are sources of grief. Mm-hmm. And what we're really focused on, and what Amy is such a perfect example of, is, okay, you've suffered a loss, you're suffering grief. How do you find that bridge to get to the other side? Excuse me, the other side. And what I was sharing earlier is that Amy has done something that, to my knowledge, is completely unique. And she created this bridge that has helped her get to the other side. And so when we did come back on and we were able to hear what Amy was sharing, I know you were talking about I think it was January of last year, your life got turned upside down because your father's Alzheimer's was progressing at a pace that full-time care was needed. Is that correct?
That is correct. Yeah. So we just briefly discussed that when we noticed it years ago, the progression, and then oh, wow, this is really it. And we're kind of diving in head first here.
Yeah. And I have so much simpatico with what Amy's dealing with. My parents are not dealing with dementia, but my dad is 98, about to turn 99, and my mother's 95. So I'm immersed in a lot of these same kinds of issues of needing to get them to their medical appointments, needing to be an advocate for them, all of the things that come up here. But Amy, one of the things I think is a really important point I want to touch on is that when you become the caregiver, it requires sacrifice. In your case, huge sacrifice. So could you talk to us a little bit about the sacrifices that have come with this shift in your role in the world, really?
Oh, goodness. I think so many caregivers would say, Amy, you better say this right now. There's a long list for that one. We could say completely loss of our own identity and self, giving up our careers. I've left, family at home. I'm living 2 hours away from home and just everything that I was doing. I had a very big, full life beforehand and socialization, all of it. And you have to say, I'm going into this. And it's interesting because even my mom said, you've made such a sacrifice. And so what I chose to do, one of the bridges I built on day one was I said, no, I'm investing. I'm investing. I'm investing in you and Dad. I'm investing in what your needs are. I'm investing the same way you invested in me. I'm investing in my own love and my own heart by choosing to see it as an investment. I'm investing in myself by immediately changing the mindset before we go any further. And I think that was a really powerful tool for me internally. Oh, today I'm investing physical strength. Today I'm investing more of my heart. Today I'm investing with my joy. Today I'm investing with my money. Today I'm investing with my car and driving around. Today I'm investing with this. And that allows me to not go, oh, I'm sacrificing. Oh, this is so hard. I mean, yes, it is. Of course, I'm still human. There's the moments, right? But snap back into that. What did I invest today? Just like we look at any investment portfolio, I can find tangible investment moments.
I love that. I love that. And, I know you and I know what you were doing before. And I find myself wondering, I'm watching the videos, I'm watching the posts, I'm seeing the coloring, I'm seeing some kind of foot massager and all. How did you know what to do? How did you know what would be helpful for him or what he needed?
I love the philosophy of looking at that next indicated thing. And when I'm working with my father, and especially with dementia, you're so in the moment. Everything is in that moment. And it might be reducing an agitation, or he's about to become irritable. It might be making him more comfortable. It could be, all right, we need to create some activity and exercise. He's not moving well today. What are we going to do to get him up and get the body in motion? So the next indicated thing created this, I think the word is creativity around that it's not just this stale thing, creative play, creative moments. He's needing more cognitive interaction. We're going to go sit outside and we're going to identify some of the various birds that are in the yard. We're going to walk and talk through today's discussion alone. In our getting him out and active and walking, we sat down and we talked about the 4 seasons of the year, because to him, he didn't understand the changes in the seasons coming, why the leaves were still on the trees, where they're going to go, when do they need to be pruned. We just talked about seasons today. So it was an opportunity to make that shift and say, what does he need? And the creativity in that, the creativity in the activities that we do, meeting his needs of his internal spirit of who he is very playful. My dad was hilarious as a kid. My dad is fun and playful. Well, so am I. I'm an entertainer. Of course I'm playful, right? So I was the perfect match for him in this category. We also both love music, and we can discuss that at some point here, but how I came up with the caregiver carpool karaoke, because when he started to get agitated and he was frustrated, and nobody wants to be in the same chair in a house all day. That's just not something anybody wants to do. I don't care where your cognitive level is, right? We all want a change of scenery. Get in the car. Well, he and I share that love for music, and especially old country music. So we just drive. We drive and sing. And all of a sudden, this grew and this took off, and people noticed. And his little quips and his antics, and to not even know my name, but remember every lyric to everything George Jones sings, right? This is powerful. So it's the creativity. It's those moments of saying, wow, we're going to keep finding outside of the box opportunities. And our baking time, instead of just saying we're going to make brownies and let's sit here and be boring about it, let's make it playful. Let's put on the chef's hats. Let's wear the matching aprons. Let's turn the camera on. And let's present this like we're the best pastry chefs in the world while we make a mess of mom's kitchen. It's delightful.
It really is, and it's delightful to watch. And just so that the audience is clear, I'm not sure if you shared this. Amy does posts how many times a week, Amy?
Usually once to twice a day. I do vlogs of these little snidbits of a day in our life and the activities, and sometimes Dad's sense of humor and those little one-liners, or how we're managing a day, how I'm preventing falls. It's all categories, and it's called Talks with Dad and Caregiver Karaoke. We have several series in this. 50 something with my parents, Talks with Dad, and Caregiver Carpool Karaoke are the main points. And there's just hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of videos out now on every social platform, because this has grown into such a large part of our life. And he knows he's on camera. If you watch the videos, you know he knows.
I know. And when he gets that cute little smile, when he thinks he said something clever, or
Yes.
he made a joke, oh my God, it's just so heartrending. It's just beautiful. And
He's
and
not a
it-
TV. He was not meant to sit in front of the television. That's not who he is. And that's not who I am. And we created this whole
Definitely
magic
not.
world.
You're definitely his daughter. And I know it's on Facebook. And you said, where else can people? And it's under
Facebook,
your
Instagram,
name,
TikTok. Yes.
under Amy Scruggs, right?
Amy Scruggs. Yes.
Yeah.
You can't miss it.
All right.
Wow.
I have a feeling there's a break sneaking up on us.
I think we still got a little bit of time.
Oh,
but,
we do.
But let's talk about tears or laughter.
Mhm.
What is that based on? And is it based on this situation that we're talking about now, or how did you come up with that?
You know, I got to jump in on that part, JC, because I came up with that title, knowing that when the diagnosis and the, how do I want to say, acute stage was coming, how Amy's life changed. And it was about the tears of this oncoming thing. But what she's done is created so much joy and laughter. Amy, go ahead and add to that.
It was interesting to see the laughter. The more we would find places for the laughter, and some of these situations are not difficult. Saving him from a fall, the reality that he really doesn't know my name, the reality that, so much of him and who what we always say who they were, right? But who his spirit is still there. And you can bring that out with joy and play and laughter. And so I can sit here and hear him say the silliest thing or make those looks or just be him. And I could have just as easily thought, how sad, look at Dad. Oh gosh, oh no, oh no, oh no. And then I go, oh my God, he wants to be funny. He wants to feel validated. He wants purpose. He wants to entertain as well. We're giving him that and he loves it. And so with that, you can't help but just laugh at ourselves, laugh at the grief. And of course, there's a lot of tears. You see some of the ones on there where I'm crying as well. I'm still a human being, but we try to scale it more over to, if I can give him a joyful moment. And I know tomorrow he won't remember all the things we did today.
Yeah.
But I gave him these moments, these blink moments, because the next day he doesn't know that we did that yesterday and we did this yesterday. But there's some moments, and in a moment he feels joy. How precious is that?
Wow.
I would
hold that thought, because we got to take a station break. But we're gonna come back. We're gonna pick it up. And last thing you said, a moment of joy. So keep that in mind, because once we get back from the break, we're gonna talk about a lot of other things. Paula is going to continue talking about tears or laughter and a lot of other techniques and things that she do. So I tell you, whichever platform that you're watching us on, if you want to be part of the conversation, all you have to do is go to that platform, go to the comments, ask any question that you might have, or pick up the phone and dial 1-888-344-1170. Again, that's 1-888-344-1170. It's your life, and we'll see you shortly after the break.
There's more stories of greatness to help you overcome adversity coming up on It's Your Life with James Cooley.
Craving a slice of Chicago right here in Temecula?
Dr. James J.C. Cooley from the United States of America, and I am here to just say, first of all, I'm so happy and honored to be on it, to be in the Coffee Book 2023, Unified Brain Z, and the other organizations. Thank you so much for giving me an opportunity to be a part of this collection.
Noah Dingley here, producer of The James Cooley Show, It's Your Life. And the new audio version of James' book, Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet, is a must-have. James shares his true life story of struggle and success in America. It's both a cautionary tale and a roadmap to achieving the American dream. Get the new audio version of Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet by James Cooley on Amazon.com or wherever audiobooks are sold.
Dr. James J.C. Cooley. The James Cooley Show. It's your life.
Both the cautionary tale and a roadmap to achieving the American dream. This is a must listen for anyone who thinks they're stuck in life or needs to understand that their current situation is not their final destination. Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet is the unfiltered truth to provide hope for the future by challenging you to refuse to become a victim of life's circumstance and dare to become an overcomer, because a bigger, better, and more impactful life awaits you. Get the new audio version of his book, Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet by Dr. James Cooley on Amazon or wherever books are sold.
Hello, welcome back to the James Cooley Show. It's Your Life, and the host today is Paula Shaw, and our guest is Amy Scruggs, and we're talking about, just like I'm every Thursday, it bridges beyond grief. Today we're talking about from tears to laughter, and we're gonna jump back into that one. But I love that title. I love the title because I just went through some things myself, and a lot of times the only way that you can stay sane, at least me, I can't speak for nobody else, is to be able to laugh or funny.
God bless laughter.
Right. Get around folks that you love being around.
Yes.
And all of those things bring joy. That's what Amy left off with joy, and I told her hold that thought because it was planted in my mind.
Yeah.
So, Amy, I want you to pick it back up from tears of laughter as you were talking about it, and you left off with joy. And again, that implanted in my mind. I said, we've got to come back with that.
You just said something. Just one sec, Amy. That could have been a more perfect title. From the tears of pain to the tears of laughter. Wouldn't that? Because that's what it's really about, right, Amy?
Yes. And joy is contagious. We can definitely get contagious of getting riled up and sad and mad. I mean, of course, we're mad at this disease. Of course, there's a human emotions. And I see so many caregivers just giving everything they have. And it's a lot of times just a thankless job. There's so many people alone in this disease and alone in caring for their loved one. And I was hoping that by putting these videos out there, by sharing my dad and I with this community and with the world, to say, if we can just bring you a little bit of that joy and hope, that you can find that as well. And maybe a smaller moment. There may be smaller moments because of the different variations of your loved one and what you're going through. But joy is contagious. And we can have that moment together where we can all go, okay, that was funny. Okay. All right. I'm a human being, and it is okay to laugh. Sometimes we forget to say that. We think because we're in a crisis or because we're in a painful situation that there's almost shame in finding joy and laughter, that we should be wearing this pain on our face and look like we are in a wrenching season, right? I'm telling you, I'm in a wrenching season right now. So please do not mistake this smile for me just living the life here, okay? But my joy keeps me healthy. My joy is feeding my body. My joy is feeding my brain and my heart. And it's also bringing a great impact to others that are in the same position.
You know, one of the things about dementia or Parkinson's or, you know, a lot of these disorders that people are dealing with now is it isn't like with a death, the loss happens and then you grieve and move forward. With this kind of progressive disease, the loss happens over and over and over
Every
again.
day.
Can you tell us a bit, Amy, about the levels of loss or the kinds of loss you've experienced as you've been walking this journey?
Yes, it's that every day. They call it the long goodbye for a reason. And when I started with him in January, my dad still knew me by name. And within the last 4 or 5 months, he no longer knows my name, doesn't understand I'm his daughter. I know he loves me and knows me because he calls me sweetheart. He knows. He says, thank you for what you're doing. But if you ask him, do you have children? He says, yeah, he thinks he has 2 boys now. So but I always said he raised 2 boys anyways, because I knew how to mow the yard and take care of the pool and take care of my car and play sports. So I think that was always in there anyways.
Yes.
But there's that loss of saying, okay, I'm being joyful and I'm in this caregiving moment. And the daughter in me goes, oh, I can't call my dad for things I'm going through. I can't call my dad to ask for his advice about my other children or my life. The dad that I could go to is gone. He's gone. So now I've got to choose a different hat to wear and find the joy as I grieve that. Right? There's the watching him lose his ability. There's the watching him lose daily things that he was able to do, even pouring his own juice into his glass. And you grieve that. Then we get days where he comes back and you're like, oh, there you are. Okay. Well, he can turn it on and somebody can say, I don't see anything. What's going on? And then the next day he can maybe not form a complete sentence and not be able to get out of his chair. So we're grieving this constant change that you never know each day what the next day holds with everything that they need to do to function as a human. And that alone is a strong grief.
Oh, huge. How did you learn, Amy? I mean, did you just go crazy with research about this disease when you stepped into it? How did you learn all these things?
You got to dive in. You know, it was the deep end. There was no time to put my toe in and sit in the shallow end and wait around for a while and just see. It was straight to the deep end. So the 36-hour day is a great caregiving book that really, really helped. And I made the choice to immerse into these amazing caregiving communities that we have, even on Facebook. There are tremendous groups of all caregivers and daughters of dementia and dementia family. And we have to choose to get educated and empowered, right? I'm only going to learn from what other people are also sharing. And there's advice in there, and there's wonderful, wonderful individuals in there ready to say, here, let me help you through this. And so I immersed myself. I have 2 dementia coaches that we're working with that are supporting one, that is our primary dementia coach, Mary, and she's amazing. And so to get that advice and say, I don't know everything. There are things I don't understand, but if I can educate and do the best to be proactive, not reactive. And I knew that that's what we need. Everything is in a proactive state. So we do get surprised, but we're more ready than if we just sat here waiting for it to fall on our heads.
Yes. Right. And then get caught unaware or in panic mode or something won't be helpful. Right.
Oh, yes. I always tell my mom, please, again, do not say he will never or that won't happen, because then the next day that happens. So we're just going to say, yes, it will happen. We're going to assume it's going to happen. And we're going to be as best prepared as we can to help us all through that.
Amy, I'm curious. How do you mentally, stay in touch with yourself, knowing you got all these things going, and you're taking care of your father and your kids, and et cetera, et cetera? How do you keep it together like that, where you just don't lose control?
What? I'm sorry, what? Yes. I honestly believe it is the humor that I'm choosing to not be angry and sad. Yes, I do get sad. No question. I know you guys are going to all hear right now the answer that not everybody always wants to hear: exercise, hydration, my X39 patch that's on my neck. Please ask Paula about that. the right vitamins and supplements, and choosing to do these things. Now, I have to feed this vessel, right? And this is a science experiment. Our bodies need to be cared for in a certain way. What I eat, how I care for my body is going to be critical for what my mind is able to do. The same way I'm doing that with my father. What the fuel we put in is, and how I help his exercise is helping his mind with even the decline. I have to do the same thing for myself. And that has been a powerful answer for that.
Wow. Hold that though. We got to take a station break, but we're going to come back. I am really enjoying this conversation with Amy Scruggs, and of course with you, Paul. And I tell you what, I hope our viewers are enjoying this as well. But if you want to be part of the conversation again, all you have to do is go to the platform that you're watching this on, ask any questions in the comments that you might have. We'll get you an answer, or you can pick up the phone and dial 1-888-344-1170. It's your life, and we'll see you shortly after the break.
There's more stories of greatness to help you overcome adversity coming up on It's Your Life with James Cooley.
Craving a slice of Chicago right here in Temecula wine country? Then dive into legendary Chicago deep dish style pizza at Rosati's Pizza Pub. Piled high with gooey cheese, rich tomato sauce, and your favorite toppings, Rosati's delivers the taste of the Windy City right to your table or front door. Enjoy the cozy pub atmosphere and an impressive selection of Temecula wines. Come on down to Rosati's Pizza Pub for your slice of Chicago right here on Rancho California Road, or order online at myrosatis.com. Rosati's, where Chicago deep dish pizza meets Temecula charm.
Conveys that all men.
Hey, 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 hey. The James Cooley Show. It's your life. Dr. James JC Cooley. Hey, hey, hey.
Slice of Chicago right here in Temecula wine country? Then dive into legendary Chicago deep dish style pizza at Rosati's Pizza Pub. Piled high with gooey cheese, rich tomato sauce, and your favorite toppings, Rosati's delivers the taste of the Windy City right to your table or front door. Enjoy the cozy pub atmosphere and an impressive selection of Temecula wines. Come on down to Rosati's Pizza Pub for your slice of Chicago right here on Rancho California Road, or order online at myrosatis.com. Rosati's, where Chicago deep dish pizza meets Temecula charm.
Dr. James JC Cooley.
Hello, welcome back to the James Cooley Show. It's your life, and I tell you, wow, just listening to Amy and Paul, of course, talk about, a lot of things, and just like you had mentioned something earlier that it's probably most people don't understand that when it's death involved. I wouldn't say it's easy, but it's
more clear.
It's clear.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're dealing with, like Alzheimer's or other things like that, and it's a slow drip, and
Yeah, well,
that could be very difficult.
Ongoing torture, in a way, it can be. That's what's so amazing about what Amy's done. She took the torture and turned it into a journey, and a joyful journey at that.
So Todd, what are your thoughts on this, Todd?
Oh, it's a great show so far, Amy. It's so endearing what she does with her father. I got to look up those caregiver carpool karaoke. I think that's awesome. I'm dealing with a aunt that has dementia, and I know it's tough. So I love the way she's handling it. It's great, and she's creating memories at the same time. Very, very awesome.
Yes,
I like the fact that. I'm sorry.
Okay. No, you go ahead, Michelle.
No, I like the fact that instead of letting the challenges take over or overwhelm her and her family, they decided to find a way to meet the challenge and turn it into something positive.
Yes. And what a great lesson for life is. I mean, isn't that an amazing lesson for all of life? If we met the challenges that come up for us, instead of screaming at the heavens, and stomping our feet, if we just went, okay, this is how it is. How is the best way I can handle it?
Yes.
Wow.
Because I don't want to create more problems. I have enough. I don't want to create problems I don't have just because of my attitude or how I'm handling something. Then I'm creating more problems. There's enough already in the situations by themselves that we need to be solving. And I think that that is, the joy, the laughter, facing it head on, education, those are all the different bridges. When we talk about the bridges, that's a bridge. It's another bridge. It's another bridge. And I think that that's a powerful tool to say, is this creating a bridge? Is this creating a solution even in the midst of the pain? Or is it creating another problem? And that can be a great indicator to sway us either way.
And Amy, you mentioned in the last segment, mental things that you do to keep yourself strong, physical things you do. What about spiritual? Are there any spiritual practices that have really come to the rescue for you?
Yes. First of all, I am a huge prayer warrior. My faith is there. Second of all, meditation. I'm very big on taking that time in meditation and making sure that I'm quieting my mind and my spirit, easing my cortisol levels, and I have to be in control of that. And third, that I think is even on that spiritual level, is community. The biggest bridge is community. We are not meant to go through things alone. As human beings, we are supposed to come together as a village. And whenever we can create those opportunities of community, I have met the most amazing human beings through this journey by reaching out and saying, I'm in this with you. My friend Allie, I'm saying hello to you right now in Mississippi. We met through these caregiving communities, and we call and we check in on each other. And we're even doing a caregiver bake-off. Her mom is making our recipe, and my dad made hers, and we're going to be posting those together. We're creating community opportunities, which are just so powerful. I had a call last night with my best friend for 2 hours, and it was at the end of a very long, heavy day. And I tell you, I came skipping out of my bedroom like, I'm ready. We can start the day today, because that community that lifts us up and empowers us. And that is a strong bridge that we all can tap into.
So true. I swear it's like you read my notes. That literally was the last thing I wanted to touch on was community. Because one thing I know as a grief specialist and working with people all the time who are grieving and going through life transitions is the killer is isolation. Feeling isolated, being isolated, not knowing where to turn, not having anyone to talk to. Community in sharing and loving and supporting each other is totally the answer. That's how we heal. And that's really what you're creating. I saw Ellie, and I saw the Bake Off episode, by the way.
We're posting the last clips this week, so stay tuned. It's a delightful. We each had our pre-show and now putting it together. And our parents understood we were doing this. We explained, and they said hi to each other. And how beautiful is that? That also my loved one doesn't feel alone. That he knows there's other families that are in the same journey, and then they are doing the same thing. And I saw that bring them both joy.
Yes.
Not just me not being alone, it's them too.
I remember a TV movie I saw at one point in time, and it was about somebody with Alzheimer's. And the line that stuck out to me was this person saying, "I'm lost in the hallways of my mind." And what you're doing is guiding your dad through those hallways, giving him certain experiences. Him in the baking hat was the most adorable thing ever.
And also saying we're excited about what's around the corner. I mean, last week was the first time his ability to walk now out. We can walk in the house most days. It was the first time I had to, integrate him to his new wheelchair. And that was scary. I don't know how to put that thing together. And so I told him I'm going to put a student driver sticker on the back of it until I get this figured out. And he thinks that's hilarious. And then we go to the store and he goes, wee. And I'm like, oh, can I do wheelies? We're going to take the next turn. So instead of him feeling embarrassed, we made it fun. I'm like, all right, we're piling the groceries on you. Look at this. We're up front. Yes. And just creating these conversational ways that we're doing this with the wheelchair, he transitioned beautifully to something that could have been very difficult. And it could have caused him to have, anxiety and stress.
Oh, it's so true. My dad, as you well know, Amy, he was a warrior. He was in the invasion at 18. He's now at 98. We were in Walmart yesterday or 2 days ago, and he drives the little cart. And so I'm doing the same thing you do, like he drives a little bit, he stops, he drives a little bit, but he insists on driving himself. And so I stand there like a traffic cop. All right, bring it forward, and so it becomes a game. So he doesn't just sit there reminded of what he's lost or what he can't do so well anymore.
But what can we do? What can we do with where we're at? And isn't that life? Yeah. We all get lemons thrown at our heads, right? Every day. What can we do with what we were just given? It doesn't mean it doesn't hurt. It doesn't mean I don't cry. It doesn't mean I'm not human. But I think I have helped not only myself, but hopefully others in this humanity.
Oh, I think you definitely have on many, many platforms. I think you've created something really unique. And I hope everybody out there copies it. Because, wow, wouldn't that be a community?
Wow, this is such a tremendous show. We might have to do part 2 if Amy has time.
Oh, I think that's a wonderful idea.
We could have Dad make a cameo appearance.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. So let's plan on doing that.
Yeah.
Do part 2. Cool. Amy, can you tell the folks what they can, because you got me curious about these videos. Can you tell them again or put it in and we'll release it where they
just put Amy Scruggs in any of your search bars. You can't miss it.
We would certainly do that. We would certainly.
Spoken like a true media coach.
Amy, it's an absolute pleasure having you.
We train the algorithms.
Having you on the show, and got to get back to that music though, because what if it all goes right?
That's not goes right.
It's hard to have that as your theme song when life throws you these at your head, right? I mean, that's a reminder. My theme song is, and my song literally is, "What if it all goes right?" And we're going to make this go right, even in the pain.
We're going to make it go right. So I want to thank you again. You got a standing invitation to the show.
Thank you.
So I certainly want to get you back on real soon.
I treasure you all so much. Words can't express.
Also, I have to thank, and I love this lady right here, Paula Shaw. Haven't aged at all. I mean, I don't know what she's doing. I'm going to start buying me all them patches and stuff.
I'm telling you.
Yeah, I'd like to thank Michelle for putting together another absolutely fantastic show. I'd like to thank my producer, Todd, in the studio where we at today. Always doing a tremendous job. KCBQ AM 1170 Answer. And I'd like to thank our viewers and our listeners for tuning in to the James Cooley Show. It's Your Life, Monday through Friday, 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Also, Saturday, the best of the James Cooley Show at 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Sunday, the best of the James Cooley Show at 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Always, always, always dream big, think big, and be big at everything you do. We'll be back tomorrow, same time, same place. It's your life. We'll see you then.
Bye, guys.
The James Cooley Show. It's
Doggy Hideaway Rescue Rehab.
So I'd need a little